Hey yo, what's going on with the viewers of the tube? Tyler here of Chico Crypto, who is back in California after a great event in FTNYC. I'll talk about that in a bit, but we got to get right into the crypto content, talking about those Bitcoin money printers going once again. So what do I mean? Well, let's talk a little bit about the Bitcoin price. It has been hugging 20K support for almost 2 weeks now. And I just want to make clear to people that this isn't a bullish short-term video. It's a bullish mid to long-term video. I still think the Bitcoin bottom isn't in. I have a feeling it's coming after this summer, sometime in September. So now let's talk about the money printers going brrrr. So back in December 2020, BTC actually went from where we're at right now, 20K, to the double peaks. As we know, around 64K in April of 2021, and then 69K the same year, November of 2021. So what happened during this time? What was going on? Well, the money printers were going brrrr like mad. There was 5.2 trillion in aid printed. There was 4.5 trillion in quantitative easing QE, and there was 3 trillion printed for infrastructure. I mean, we were getting upwards of 12.5 trillion in a matter of couple years, you guys. And actually, out of this, $1 trillion was actually given to the people in direct relief checks. So many people actually use this 1 trillion, that the average American, the retail investor got to speculate with. And it wasn't only retail speculating crypto. Wall Street was getting cheap money, banks were getting cheap money, and they were also speculating in crypto. But let's talk about the retail investor, because majority of Wall Street and banks, their money went into pumping the stock market, while a majority of retail was the reason for the Bitcoin run. So the second stimulus check that we got, it came in around December of 2020. And within the month of December, after those checks went out, guess what Bitcoin did? It went from that 20K level all the way up to a peak of 40K by the end of the month. So, of course, retail was using some of this money, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people were using this money to speculate in the crypto markets. And then the third check, the biggest one, it was about $1,400, I think. It was given out in March of 2021. What happened, from April, from March to April, BTC went from 45K to the initial first peak of 64K. So obviously money printing and direct helping of Americans helps pump the Bitcoin price. That's obvious. So what am I talking about with this video title? Money printers are going once again. Well, it's already kind of beginning, you guys. I'm sure you've heard the Bidester's announcement about the federal gas tax holiday. He's planning on a 3-month pause of federal gas taxes, which are about 24 cents per gallon, to stop for up until September of this year. So what could happen? Well, to fund this, it's estimated that the government is going to need to print, money printer go brrrr, another $10 billion. And that's not it, you guys. So if you didn't know, the federal tax on gas tax, it actually goes to fund something. It funds a highway trust fund, which builds out our infrastructure highways across the country. Well, to keep this funded and going during the pause, it's going to cost them an extra $6.7 billion to print it to keep this up and running. And even before this gas tax holiday was, announced, the Highway Trust Fund has been in trouble. They're actually pretty insolvent. They're having to print money already to keep this going. Well, by 2030, I mean, even by 2024, it's estimated that their annual budget is going to be running a freaking deficit. And they're going to be at about $50 billion by 2024, insolvent. So they're going to have to print at least that much. And then by 2030, that is going to jump up to 200 billion. So, as you can see, the money printers are going to start going brrrr to help out the regular Americans again. And some people think that this is just going to be 3 months. It could extend for a year. It could extend for longer than that. They could never tax Americans again on gas and just be printing money to fund the Highway Trust Fund. So here we go, you guys. The money printers are starting. But I project it's not going to just be a federal gas tax holiday. They're not going to be able to slow inflation. I mean, everything is going to rise like crazy. Food, I mean, as we've seen, we're going to have food shortages across the strait. Things are going to get pretty hairy throughout the summer. I will tell you that right now. And they're going to do their little game of, yeah, we're going to rise interest rates to try to fight this, but it's not going to work. And they are going to reverse course, in my opinion, around September of this year. And the money printers are going to full on turn brrrr again, which will include direct stimulus checks to help out Americans. Big aid packages. And I have a feeling this is going to be the time of one of the biggest speculative asset bubbles in the history of all histories. It's the last hurrah. It's the last one before fiat, in my opinion, collapses under its own weight of inflationary policy. So, I'm not the only one who shares this opinion, you guys. There's actually a person I respect in the crypto markets. They know a lot about the world, money printing, banking as their ex-banker, and also the crypto markets and how they work. And that is Arthur Hayes. So Arthur Hayes actually has a blog post. He posted about 3 weeks to a month ago called Shut It Down. And in it, he holds a bunch of similar views as myself. He thinks that we are going to have one of the massive speculative asset bubbles in history. He has a feeling the government is going to have to reverse course, or Americans are going to be hurt hard. We're going to turn into one of the poorest countries as a person, you know. One of the poorest first world countries, you know. No health care. I mean, $8 a gallon gas, food goes up 100%. Yeah, they are going to have to give relief checks. There's no doubt about that. So I've included Arthur Hayes' blog down in the description if you want to read it. I highly, highly recommend it because he dives into things that even I don't understand. He's a very smart guy, even though he did some shady things in the crypto industry with BitMEX. He still understands it. So now I'll give you guys a little update on NFT NYC. It was a great time. I went to some couple great events. I didn't go to the actual NFT NYC event. I heard it was pretty much a chat show. Glad I didn't go. I went to the side events. But I got to meet some amazing people in the crypto space. I got to see Beeple, as you guys know, one of the more famous NFT artists out there, selling pieces for millions upon millions of dollars. I got to meet one of the biggest NFT collectors in the space, Vincent Van Dough. And then, as many of you guys know who follow my Twitter, I got to meet one of the biggest up-and-coming NFT artists, Alpha Centuria Kid. So it was a great time, but I'm going to be heading to Berlin in just a few days. So I will be creating content from there. Hopefully get that second interview with the Gavin Wood, get him to drop some of that alpha, and yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. So again, you guys, the money printers are already starting. They're already starting to reverse course. They need to help out regular Americans. We're going to see those money printers go brrr and go wild once again as they've dug themselves too big of a hole. And the only thing to do now is to print more and print more. So watch out. Again, Bitcoin short term. I think we are going to have a little hard summer, I would expect, but by September, I expect a reverse, of course. Cheers, you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.